All right, let's go over the warm-up first. So this warm-up involves equations, but it's multi-step equations, so it'll prepare us for the inequalities. So let's go ahead and take a look at 74. We've got negative x plus 8 plus 4x equals 14. Well, I see on the left side, we have our variable, right? Our variable is x. And also on the left side, what you guys have to remember is whenever you have two terms that are like terms, for example, negative x and 4x, we can combine them before we can move forward, okay? So the 4x and the negative x combine to give us positive 3x. The 8 is alone because there's no other just number on that left side, equals 14. Now what we have to do is we want to get that 3x by itself first. So we've got to subtract 8 from both sides. We're going to get 3x by itself on this side now equals 14 minus 8 is going to be 6. And then what you have to do is you had to divide by 3. That way the 3's cancel on the left side. So all we're left with on the left side is just x equals 6 divided by 3 is now going to be 2. So x equals 2. All right, and for 75, so we've got negative 6 times 2y plus 2 equals 12. Now that negative 6, guys, that has to get distributed to both terms on the inside. So this first term is going to become negative 6 times 2y, which is negative 12y, minus 6 times 2, which is going to be negative 12, equals 12. So a lot of 12s going on. Now, we want to get the y by itself, so we have to add 12 to both sides. These 12s cancel, and what you're left with is negative 12y equals 24. You can divide by negative 12, divide by negative 12, and you're going to get y equals negative 2. And that's how you do the warm-up. Lesson 3.4, solving multi-step inequalities. Okay. All right, this is 3.4, solving multi-step equations. Let's get started. Okay, so our objectives here are to solve multi-step equations. We're going to treat the inequalities just like equations. The only difference is when you divide or multiply by a negative number, you have to flip the inequality. Okay, so using more than one step. 9 plus 4t is greater than 21. Let's treat this just like a regular equation, so just like we were doing in the warm-up. We want to recognize what our variable is. Our variable here is t, so we want to deal with the left side. We want to get rid of everything but the t. So let's get rid of the 9 first. We're going to subtract 9 from both sides. We're going to get 4t, because these 9's cancel, is greater than 21 minus 9 gives us 12. We divide by 4 to get rid of the 4's. And we're going to have t is greater than 3. We want to check our answer. So we have to pick a value of t that's greater than 3. Let's pick t equals 4. And we're going to plug it back into our original equation, okay? So our original was 9 plus 4t, which is now 4, is greater than 21. So 9 plus, remember, PEMDAS, so we have to do the multiplication first before we can add. So it's going to be 9 plus 4 times 4 is 16, is greater than 21. 9 plus 16 is going to give us 25, is greater than 21. Is 25 greater than 21? Absolutely, so this one's good to go. All right, so we just checked our work. Let's move on to the next one. Using more than one step again, okay, we've got 2 more problems. So negative 4 is less than 5 minus 3n. Guys, recognize that your variable is now on the right side. N is on the right side of our inequality. So nothing really changes, but we are going to be dealing with the right side first, okay? So we want to get rid of that 5 first. So let's subtract, not 9, 5 from each side. On this left side, we're going to get negative 9 is less than negative 3n. Okay, now this is where I want you guys to pay close attention. We have to divide by negative 3 to both sides. Why? That way the negative 3's will cancel, and we're just left with n on the right side. but we divided by a negative number. As soon as you divide by a negative number or multiply by a negative number, flip your inequality. So now it's pointing, the mouth is opening now to the left. Negative 9 divided by negative 3 is going to be positive 3. So this is our solution. Okay? 3 must be greater than n, or n must be less than 3. Okay, let's do another one. 50 is greater than 0.8x plus 30. We've got to subtract 30 from both sides, because remember, our variable here is the x. We want to get everything away from the x, so we want to get the 30 away first, because it doesn't have an x in it. And we're going to get 20 is greater than 0.8x. Next, we want to divide by 0.8, divide by 0.8, and we're going to get 25 on the left is greater than x. Notice how we divided by a positive number, therefore our inequality does not change, okay? It stayed the same between these two. In our last problem, the inequality did flip, okay? The reason it flipped was because we divided by a negative number, not a positive one. So x has to be less than 25. All right, writing and solving a multi-step inequality. In a community garden, you want to fence in a vegetable garden that is adjacent to your friend's garden. You have at most 42 feet of fence. What are the possible lengths of your garden? So we know one side, right, from this image. This is our new garden, okay? And we know one side has to be 12. But we also know that this side has to be 12 feet as well, okay? Because it is a rectangle, okay? Now, we have to figure out this length to us is unknown. So we're going to label that W for the width, okay? W. So at most, our garden can be 42 feet. So let's put 42 has to be the greatest value. And if it's at most, it could be 42 feet. So we're going to put greater than or equal to, okay? And it has to be greater than or equal to 12 plus 12, both these sides, and these two sides. So W plus W. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and highlight what we're going to combine. These two we're going to combine, the W's, and we're also going to combine the 12s, okay? Because they're like terms, all right? So here we go. Let's do 12 plus 12 is going to give us 24, so 42 is greater than or equal to 24 plus W is going to give us 2W. Now all we have to do is subtract 24 from both sides, and we're going to get 18. 18 is greater than or equal to 2W. What do we do now? Remember, we want to get W by itself. There's that 2 there. How do we get rid of that 2? We have to divide by 2. And we are going to get 9 is greater than or equal to W. So W, our width, has to be less than 9. Does that make sense? Yes. Because if we think about it, if our width was 9 feet, right? That would be 9 plus 9, which is 18, plus 24, would give us exactly 42. So that is the maximum width that our garden could be and use up all of the fence that we have. If W was 8, we would have leftover fence, but at least we wouldn't be running out of fence, okay? What we can't have is that the length of this side W could not be 10, right? Because 10 is greater than 9, and we would run out of fence, right? The fence would probably only get to like here or something, and we would be missing out on this space, okay? So remember, 10 is not a possibility. It has to be any number equal to 9 or less than 9, all right? Let's do another one. Okay. So you want to make a rectangular banner that is 18 feet long. You have no more than 48 feet of trim for the banner. What are the possible widths of the banner? No more than 48 feet. So this 48 is going to be by itself on one side, and that has to be the maximum value, okay? And no more than means it could be 48 feet. We could use all of the trim for the banner, okay? And we know that one side is 18 feet long. So it's 18 plus 18 plus the width we don't know. So we're gonna add W twice. If it helped to draw a picture of the banner, here's our trim going all the way around. And we know that it's 18 feet long, but we don't know the width, okay? So that's why we labeled that W. All right, so this becomes 48 is greater than or equal to 18 plus 18 gives us 36 plus 2W. We subtract 36 from both sides because remember, we want to find out what W is, the solutions for W. These will cancel. 48 minus 36 is going to give us 12 is greater than or equal to 2W. We divide by 2, divide by 2. We do that so those cancel. We're left with W only on the right side is less than or equal to 6. So W could be 6, it could be 5, it could be 4. But guys, it cannot be more than 6 because then we'll run out of trim for the banner. All right, this next one is a multiple choice problem. It says, which is a solution of 3 times t plus 1 minus 4t is greater than or equal to negative 5. So what we got to do is we have to actually simplify the left side of this inequality. In order to do that, the first thing that I noticed was we can distribute that 3 to the things that are inside. So let's do that first. Let's distribute this 3 to the t and to the 1. So this is going to be 3 times t plus 3 times 1 minus 4t is greater than or equal to negative 5. So the 3 times t just becomes 3t. 3 times 1 is just 3 minus 4t is greater than or equal to negative 5. Now, what can we combine on the left side? Well, we can combine the 3t and the minus 4t, okay? So what we get here is we get 3t minus 4t is going to be negative t plus 3 is greater than or equal to negative 5. Now we can try to get this 3 away. So we're going to subtract 3 from both sides. We're going to get negative t is greater than or equal to negative 8. Now, in order to get rid of this negative that's next to the t, you can either divide by negative 1 or multiply by a negative 1. But remember, when we're dividing or multiplying by a negative number, this inequality has to flip. So it's going to be t, because these cancel, these negatives cancel, t is less than or equal to positive 8. And which of our solutions is less than or equal to 8? Only A. The rest of them are larger than 8. Okay, what are the solutions of 15 is less than or equal to 5 minus 2 times 4m plus 7? And we got to check our solutions. Okay, let's go ahead and do this one. So I see that I need to distribute. So this negative 2 is going to get distributed to both terms. So we're going to get 15 is less than or equal to 5 minus 2 times 4m minus 2 times 7. Notice how I distributed the negative as well, okay? I didn't just leave it. I distributed that as well. So it's going to be 15 is less than or equal to 5. Negative 2 times 4m is going to be negative 8m. And then negative 2 times 7 is minus 14. Now, in the previous problem, we had 2 terms with our variable in them. Now, I see we have 2 terms without the variable. We have the 5 and the minus 14. So we're going to combine those, okay? So what we do here is we just combine them. So this is 5 minus 14, which is going to give us negative 9. So we're going to get 15 is less than or equal to negative 8m minus 9, okay? From here, you're going to add 9 to both sides. Why? Because we want to get m by itself, right? And the 9 is just hanging there, right? It doesn't have an m on it, so we need to move it over. So let's move that over. This is going to cancel, and we're going to get 15 plus 9 is going to be 24 is less than or equal to negative 8m. Divide by negative 8, divide by negative 8. Remember, as soon as we divide by a negative number, go ahead and flip your sign. So we're going to get, the mouth is now going to open up to the left. It's going to be negative 3 is greater than or equal to m. Check our solution. So m, we've got to pick a value that's less than or equal to negative 3. So m equals, I'm just going to pick negative 4. Okay? What we have to do is plug that back into our original equation or inequality, which was this one. So we're going to get 15 is less than or equal to 5 minus 2 times 4. M is now negative 4 plus 7. Okay? So 15 is less than or equal to 5 minus 2 times. Okay, remember, PEMDAS means we have to simplify what's inside the parentheses first. So let's look at what's inside the parentheses. I see 4 times negative 4 plus 7. Remember, multiplication comes first. So we have to multiply the 4 times negative 4 first. This is going to give us negative 16 plus 7. What's inside the parentheses still isn't solved, so we have to keep working in there before we do anything else. So it's going to be 15 is less than or equal to 5 minus 2 times negative 16 plus 7 will give us negative 9. And now we've simplified everything inside the parentheses. So if we're looking at PEMDAS, okay, we're done with parentheses. I don't see any exponents. I do see multiplication though. So we got to do 15 is less than or equal to 5 minus negative 2 times negative 9 is actually going to be a positive number, and it's going to be a positive 18. So now we're done with multiplication. I don't see division. I do see addition, so we're going to take care of that. So it's going to be 15 is less than or equal to 5 plus 18 is going to be 23. Is 15 less than or equal to 23? Absolutely. So we just checked our work. Okay, solving an inequality with variables on both sides. So if you look closely, I see an n here and I see an n here, okay? No need to freak out, guys. All you need to do is move one to the other side. Remember, I like to always move my variable to the left side. It just makes a lot more sense for me. Feel free to do it the other way around if you feel more comfortable or if you just want to be tricky like that, okay? What I would do is I would subtract 3n from both sides, okay? How did I know to subtract 3n? Well, I noticed that this is a plus, right? So this is technically 3n plus 8. You could have rewritten it as 8 plus 3n, right? In order to get rid of the 3n, we got to subtract, okay? So just think about it like that. Whenever the operation, even though it's behind it, right, is next to it, that's what we have to do the opposite, right? So we're going to subtract 3n. Now that we've subtracted, these are going to cancel, right? And we're going to get 3n on the left minus 1 is greater than positive 8. Now all we have to do is add 1 to both sides. We're going to get 3n is greater than 9, and we just divide by 3. Divide by 3. So we're going to get n is greater than 3. So n can be any value greater than 3. Okay, what are the solutions of 3b plus 12 is greater than 27 minus 2b? Recognize it, guys. We've got a b on this side. We've got a b on this side. So what do? Remember, I like to put everything, all of my variables on the left side. So in this case, I want to get rid of that 2b, so I'm going to add, oops, wrong utensil, add 2b to both sides. Once I do that, I'm going to get 5b on the left plus 12 is greater than 27. This cancels. All right, next step, subtract 12. Why? Because I have b on the left, I want to get it by itself. The 12's hanging out there, we want to get that away. 5b is greater than 27 minus 12 is just going to be 15. From here, divide by 5, divide by 5. This cancels, and we're left with b is greater than 3. Okay. And a little bit more practice. But in this case, we're going to get what's called special solutions. So if you remember when we were dealing with equalities, right, or equations, we would get some things that were like an identity, which had infinite solutions, and we would also get what was called a no solution. So there was no possible solution for our variable that would satisfy the equation. Same thing happens for inequalities. So there's this thing called where our variable could be all of the real numbers. So basically any solution, kind of like an identity. And there was also a case where our solution will never be, or there's no possible solution for our answer, okay? So let's go ahead and take a look at this one. We've got 10 minus 8a is greater than or equal to 2 times 5 minus 4a. Well, first off, I noticed we can distribute this 2 to both terms on the inside, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. We get 10 minus 8a is greater than or equal to 2 times 5 gives us 10, and then 2 times negative 4 is going to give us negative 8a. Whoa, kind of looks similar. Well, if I didn't recognize that they were the same on both sides yet, I would just add 8a to this side, add 8a to this side. Watch what happens. They both cancel. So we've got 10 is greater than or equal to 10. That is true, right? But a wasn't involved, okay? So, in other words, a can be any real number. A can be any real number. Remember that pound sign is a symbol for number, okay? All right, inequalities with special solutions. So let's look at another one. In this one, we're going to get no solution. I want to show you what it looks like. So we've got 6m minus 5 is greater than 7m plus 7 minus m. Take a look, guys. We've got m, and m. Well, the two m's on the right side, let's go ahead and combine those. So 6m minus 5 is greater than 7m minus m is going to give us 6m plus 7. We go on to subtract 6m from the left side, subtract 6m from the right, subtract 6m from the right side, subtract 6m from the left side. We get negative 5 is greater than 7. Now, this is not a true statement, okay? Negative 5 is not greater than 7. So therefore, m has no solution. All right, more equations with special solutions. So what are the solutions of each inequality? Okay, let's go ahead and take a look at A. I already recognize we've got 5 on both sides. Let's just subtract that. So this is going to give us 9 is less than or equal to negative 1. Is that true? Nope. This is not true. So n has no solution. All right, let's check out x. So we've got 8x plus 6x on the left is greater than or equal to 7x plus 2 minus x. So 8 plus 6x is greater than or equal to. Notice, guys, we've got 2 x's on the right. We can combine those. That will give us 6. That will give us 6x plus 2. Remember, we're going to subtract 6x from both sides. Cancel, cancel. 8 is greater than or equal to 2. Yep, that one's accurate. So x has, or can be any real number. So how many solutions does x have? Infinitely many. Can be any real number. Okay. All right, we've got the check yourself before you wreck yourself, okay? The answers are on the next page. Go ahead and try those out, see if you can get them, and your exit ticket. So your friend says that the solutions of the inequality negative 2 times 3 minus x is greater than 2x minus 6 are all real numbers. Do you agree with your friend? Explain. What if the inequality symbol were greater than or equal to? All right, well, let's first off solve this. So we've got negative 2 times 3 minus x greater than 2x minus 6. Remember, we're going to distribute that negative 2 to both terms. So this is going to be negative 2 times 3 minus 2 times negative x is greater than 2x minus 6. This first term becomes negative 6. This second term becomes positive 2x is greater than 2x minus 6. So now we're going to subtract 2x from both sides. These cancel, and we're left with negative 6 is greater than negative 6. True statement or not? It is not, okay? So x has no solution. Okay? X has no solution. But if the inequality symbol were greater than or equal to, then x would be any real number, okay? Because negative 6 is equal to negative 6, okay? There's a difference there. I wanted you guys to understand the difference between the two of them. All right, here's your homework. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.